Now, Talk Real Estate, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, located on the South Shore, and I have been working as a full-time realtor and sales and marketing consultant for home buyers and home sellers for the past 15 years. My unique approach to assisting my clients to the next chapter of their lives is driven by being a team player and by offering them continuous training, education, advising, and mentoring. Every week, I will be providing you with real estate topics ranging from home buyer and home seller advice, legal matters, insurance binders, flood insurance concerns, home inspection questions, environmental worries like radon, lead paint, and mold, mortgages and loan programs, staging tips and ideas, real estate contracts, market trends, home values, and more. It's a talk radio show, and you can follow along online. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We'd love to talk real estate. If you missed any of our shows, you can listen on my podcast at talkrealestateradio.com. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me regarding your home sale or your home purchase, you can connect with me anytime at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate. And hello to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara, and you are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, along with my crew here. We are talking COVID, as we have been. Sounds like something's gurgling. I don't know what it is, but
I feel like it's week 5, Sharon.
Is it? No, I think it's like week 7, isn't it?
What? It's like week 7, and it feels like month 7. Please don't take anything away.
I forgot it was President's Day the other day.
Yeah, that was yesterday.
Patriots Day.
I forgot. It was Patriots
Day, guys. Patriots Day.
That was Patriots Day. Yes.
Oh, it was a little while
that
ago.
one either.
President's Day's in February, Mary.
Well, I want to go back to February where we weren't under quarantine.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, Patriots Day actually was interesting. I was listening to WATD yesterday morning, and Rob Hackala had on an author. I didn't catch the name of his book, but he was talking about something. What is Patriots Day all about? There was some big war or something, and the British, was it the British are coming things? I have no idea. But some of it was in Marshfield.
Really?
Yay. I know. Who cares?
No, I didn't know that.
We have Mel, and we have Sabrina Chilcott, who is joining us from home. She is the assistant manager at Town of Pembroke. Of course, we have Lisa Cullity here with us, Board of Health agent, and we have Ken McCormick here, deputy chief of the fire department. We have Mary Baker with us as well, and of course Melissa Wallace. So we're all on Facebook Live, so you can see all of us. We are doing our best at social distancing here as we're into week 7, I think is what we said. So if you want to go into Facebook Live, you can go on to Sharon Costa McNamara, find us there. Mel, where else are you putting us?
I think she's putting us everywhere. She's
concentrating. All on the Connect pages. You can go to Boston Connect Real Estate. You can go to McNamara Broker Team. But I'm getting word that we sound great on the radio. So
well, that's great. Perfect.
Good. So we're good.
All right. Awesome. So you can also go to Pembroke Connect, Marshfield Connect, all those pages, and you'll be able to hear us. So, all right, guys. So what are we talking about this week? So the people who are calling in, just so we know, Josh Cutler has been calling in every week at 6:30. But this week he won't be. Cole will be calling in. Cole Angley, maybe? Is it
Cole's pretty awesome. You'll like Cole.
Okay, great. Well, I hope he joins us via Zoom, because we gave him a link. So hopefully he'll be able to join us. I heard the governor talked today, but I was in a lot of appointments.
Yes, the governor had a lot to say today. So, but we anticipated that. So first of all, cases, we obviously had a little spike in cases on Friday, which people will have noticed. So between Friday and mostly over the weekend, we did have some of those jumps in numbers that we told you to expect, Sharon. I think we jumped about 13, 14 cases up. And we anticipate more jump in cases as the testing is becoming more widespread, particularly in Pembroke. But let's circle back to the governor. The big news today is obviously the governor has closed schools for the remainder of the year through June 29th, which would have been the end of school. And also early childhood daycare has been canceled, and early childhood programs have been canceled, except for essential workers. Obviously, all those facilities that the governor and through the early childhood ed have been licensed to do care for essential workers. All of those programs remain open and in place for all the essential workers, the first responders, the medical folks, the grocery store workers. All of those programs remain in place through that order as well. I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to realize that the idea that we are going to open up on May 4th in 2 weeks from today is obviously not going to hold, with schools being out, not with us going into our peak. And we can see the peak a lot of places, and I'm really grateful that we're not seeing as much of a peak on the South Shore as, for example, Boston, Chelsea, some of those other areas.
Brockton's very, very high, right?
Sorry to interrupt, ladies, but we do have Lisa DeMilo standing by. Quick traffic update if you like.
All right, perfect. Well, speaking of all things South Shore and beyond, let's get to Lisa DeMilo, and she can give us an idea of what's going out there with the traffic. It's a little rainy.
Well, we're seeing that heavy rain creating road spray out there, so you want to take it a bit slower. The expressway is still a 9-minute ride in both directions between Boston and Braintree. Route 3 South's a 39-minute ride from the expressway down through Plymouth. 93 is moving along in both directions between Canton and Braintree. And Route 24 South, you're looking at 21 minutes to go from 93 down to Route 140. This report is sponsored by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org. Traffic on the 9s every morning. I'm Lisa DeMilo in the WATD Traffic Center.
We now return to Talk Real Estate, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services on 95.9 WATD.
So anyway, going back to what we were talking about, and thanks for the traffic. It's always good to know there isn't any. But all joking aside, so going back to the cases, those spikes that we anticipated seeing are obviously there. And of course, the idea that kids were going to go back to school, I think most people understood that wasn't likely to happen. But of course, now we know that following the governor followed just a few days after the original out of school order, followed up with our stay at home order. And I fully anticipate, again, going into our what's anticipated to be a 2-week peak. That the governor's going to extend it at least another 2 weeks, somewhere between 2 and 4 weeks. I don't know where he's going to fall on that because we do need to see that decline in cases. But I think at least 2 weeks. It could be 3 or 4 weeks.
But think about, if he's closing down daycare facilities, it's possibly going to go further because you're not going to send people to work and not have any place for these kids to go, right?
It could certainly go further, but the governor could also be, and again, in my contacts at the DPH are saying more planned or slower rollout. In other words, not bringing every business back online immediately, but developing a rollout plan. And that's a slow ramp up of opening those non-essential businesses in a slow and controlled manner. Maybe it's a percentage of population, maybe it's a percentage of store capacity, maybe it's a percentage of restaurant capacity. We don't know what that's going to look like yet, but I would anticipate no one wants this economy to get any worse than it is. No one wants people to be struggling any more than they always are. So if the governor follows the pattern, if you would, that he's been following, I anticipate it's going to be about 2 to 4 weeks more of stay at home. And then he's going to plan on a business rollout. And I think he's going to, start with construction as he had, allowed that to go on longer. Then, of course, had to slow that down because of the lack of sanitation. I think he's going to start rolling out things like that. Certainly outdoor businesses, certainly businesses that can operate at a lower capacity than other businesses. I think that's what he's going to target.
One of the things I had seen a snippet of something on the news or something that I hadn't given much consideration is the camps, like for summer camps and things like that. So how is that going to affect that? The other thing is, I'm guessing no camps, but that brings in the other thing. Parents send their kids to camp so they can work as well, right? So the kids can enjoy themselves, but also just in general of doing summer things, like these day camps. It's going to
be really challenged. And from a medical standpoint, if you look at it purely from a virus and medical control optics, it has 100 problems. The first problem being now you're taking a population of kids that are never together because summer camps usually draw kids from a really wide base and then puts them all in communal living of 20 or 30 kids to a cabin. that's going to be a huge problem from a disease control standpoint. The other part is from
hold on 1 sec. So, because I just have questions, is because I'm trying to understand it myself. Because at first I thought when all of this was happening, they were saying the kids weren't really the ones that were carrying it or getting it. So is it potentially a better place for all of them to be? So they're sort of confined in the woods.
No, the original thought was the schools, because it's not wrong, the school classroom remains the same throughout the year, especially the elementary school kids. The kids that are mixing in their populations is the same mix of kids. It's not like you have a lot of transient kids moving in and out of a school district for the most part. Is there some of that? Of course. But certainly in the younger levels, it's the same kids in the same classroom all day, every day. The germs they're going to share are the germs they're going to share. Mm-hmm. It's very different when you talk about a camp type scenario,